during this period of the coronavirus pandemic adversely affecting the global socio-economic space. We begin with the story that Italy has taken its biggest step towards a cautious return to post-coronavirus normality, allowing a number of businesses and churches to reopen after more than 2 months of strict lockdown restrictions. Restaurants, bars, and cafes across the country were permitted today to serve customers again, so long as they adhere to physical distancing rules. Museums, clothing stores, hairdressers, and beauticians also opened their doors, but at many shops, customers will have to book ahead of time. A flood of criticism of the Indonesian government's response to the pandemic and the behavior of many Indonesians has appeared on social media under a hashtag that translates as Indonesia whatever. The post followed online comments by doctor and social media influencer Teta Mandira Hudi, who was outraged by the easing of a flight ban that led to passengers engulfing a Jakarta airport late last week and ignoring guidelines on social distancing. On his Instagram account, the doctor posted a picture of himself in full personal protective equipment, holding a sign with the words, "Indonesia, whatever, do what you like." By today, the post had drawn more than 400,000 likes, and the hashtag Indonesia Teteswa is among the top trending on Instagram and Twitter. Tourism-dependent Spain aims to reopen borders to visitors around the end of June as its lockdown fully unwinds. Madrid last week surprised its EU partners by imposing a 2-week quarantine on all overseas travelers and effectively keeping borders closed, saying that was needed to avoid importing a second wave of the coronavirus. But the move was meant to be temporary, and Transport Minister Jose Luis Abalos said it would be phased out in parallel with travel being allowed within Spain, whose regions are easing restrictions in different phases. A resolution pushed by the EU and Australia calling for a review into the origins and spread of the coronavirus has the support of 116 countries at the World Health Assembly, almost enough for it to pass. The resolution on the coronavirus will be put forward tomorrow if it gains backing from 2/3 of the 194 members of the Assembly, the governing body of the World Health Organization. China has strongly opposed calls for an international investigation into the pandemic, but appeared more amenable to the resolution today. The UK has added the loss of smell and taste to its official list of COVID-19 symptoms, a step that it hopes could help pick up about 2% more cases of the coronavirus. The change, announced by Professor Jonathan Van Tam, England's Deputy Chief Medical Officer, came after scientists advising the government decided it could help pick up more cases if included in the basic case definition. Our basic case definition, which has for some time been new continuous cough or fever, will change to new continuous cough, fever, or anomisia. Van Tam, who previously worked at SmithKline Beckham, Roche and Aventis Pasteur, said. The head of the EU's medicine agency, Guido Razzi, has said an initial authorization for US pharmaceutical company Gilead's Remdesivir as a COVID-19 treatment could be granted in coming days. It might be that a conditional market authorization can be issued in the coming days, Razzi told a hearing in the EU Parliament in Brussels. The European Medicines Agency has already recommended the compassionate use of Remdesivir, which allows a drug to be administered to patients even before it has been fully authorized. St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican has reopened to visitors after being closed for over 2 months under Italy's lockdown orders. A handful of visitors queued up observing social distancing rules, and were watched by police officers wearing face masks before having their temperatures taken to enter the church, which has been closed since March 10. The Spanish cabinet is due to approve next week a program to grant a basic income to the poorest segments of the population to help them weather the economic fallout of coronavirus, Social Security Minister José Luis Escrivá has said. The minister said in an interview with RNE radio station that the cabinet would approve the program probably during the weekly cabinet meeting scheduled on May 26. He said as many as 1 million families would receive the new benefits, which will cost the government between 3 billion euros and 3.5 billion euros per year. A Fiji High Court judge, Justice Salesistemo, has quashed 49 of 51 cases relating to breaches of curfew and physical distancing restrictions, saying the penalties imposed by the lower court were cruel, degrading, and disproportionately severe, according to a report in the Fiji Sun. Justice Temo noted that many of those convicted had been fined but lacked the means to pay the fine, and their livelihoods had been adversely affected by the coronavirus pandemic. Most were unemployed or subsistence farmers, the judge said. If they were working, they were not earning that much in a week. Most of them pleaded guilty on the first call, and most were first offenders. A new survey shows Australian economists overwhelmingly support social distancing measures to slow the spread of the coronavirus. The First Economic Society of Australia conversation poll asked 43 of the country's leading economists whether they agreed, disagreed, strongly agreed or strongly disagreed with the proposition, the benefits to Australian society of maintaining social distancing measures sufficient to keep R less than 1 for COVID-19 are likely to exceed the cost. Almost 3/4 backed the proposition, 23 of them strongly, only 9 disagreed. R is the reproduction number for the virus and measures the average number of other people someone who already has coronavirus will infect. When R is below 1, the outbreak will begin to peter out. Brazil's president, Bolsonaro, continues to defy advice on social distancing even as the coronavirus outbreak in Brazil worsens. On Sunday, he posed for selfies with at least 3 children picked out from a crowd of supporters who had congregated outside the presidential palace, Reuters news agency reported. In an online video, Bolsonaro said he welcomed the demonstration. Above all, the people want freedom, they want democracy, they want respect, he said. Health Ministry figures from Sunday night showed 7,938 new cases in Brazil, bringing the total to more than 241,000. A further 485 people died, bringing the death toll to 16,118. U.S. authorities are not yet seeing spikes in coronavirus cases in places that are reopening, but it was still too early to determine such trends, Health Secretary Alex Azar said yesterday. We are seeing that in places that are reopening, we are not seeing this spike in cases, Azar said on CNN's State of the Union program. We still see spikes in some areas that are in fact closed. However, Azar said identifying and reporting new cases takes time. A critical part of reopening will be surveillance of flu-like symptoms in the population and other hospital admissions data, as well as testing of asymptomatic individuals, he said. It's still early days, Azar cautioned in an interview with CBS Face of the Nation. He said data will take some time to come in from states that reopened early, such as Georgia and Florida. Nearly all 50 U.S. states have begun to allow some businesses to reopen and residents to move more freely, but only 14 states have met the federal government guidelines for lifting measures aimed at fighting the pandemic, according to a Reuters analysis. The top Democrat in Congress, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, said it was impossible to know the trajectory of the virus, which has killed close to 90,000 Americans without more testing. The confirmed COVID-19 cases in Nigeria now stands at 5,959 with 1,594 recoveries and 182 deaths at the moment. Lagos leads with 2,550 cases, followed by Kano 825 and FCT Abuja 418 cases. Abia, Anambra and Benue with 5 cases each are the states with the lowest cases of COVID-19. The current active cases are 4,183 with 33,970 total sample tests carried out so far. Yesterday, Nigeria recorded 338 cases, its highest in a single day since the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. And that'll be all for this edition of The Human Angle. You can send your videos and pictures to news@polshareng.com or programs@polshareng.com and let's share your experience and views. Visit our website www.polshareng.com to get more updates from our news stories and videos. Also follow our social media platforms showing on the screen for further updates on our market reports. Join us by 6 p.m. for our evening segments, which will be streamed live on our YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter channels. Till tomorrow, thank you for watching and do stay safe.